Well, I can't say there were many deals in there today. There often aren't, though. Pretty much the only time I see a deal is when stuff is on for half off or whatever. And then that brings it down to the price it was a couple of years ago. That's all. But anyway, that's life in Canada. What you gonna do? I'm parked here because I can get the store's free internet here. Anywhere else in the lot and it doesn't work unless I'm in the store. But right in this area here, it picks up the free internet. And the way I look at it, with the prices I'm paying for food, I'm damn well going to get what I can get, you know, for free. Anyway, yeah, I did buy a roasted chicken. That's about $15 for a roasted chicken. $12 plus because it's considered a prepared meal. There's tax, which brings it up to about like $15. I bought some ice cream. I bought a few odds and ends that were in the bargain bin for sale. But that's about it. I'm going to eat my ice cream, I guess. I'm going to pump up the tires before I go too. Another thing I do when I come to this store, they have a big public washroom for people to use with hot running water and a nice soap dispenser on the wall. And I don't have hot running water where I am. If I want hot water, I have to boil it. And so what I do is I go in there and I wash my hands in nice hot water, and I wash my face too. Dry it all off with a piece of paper towel. So I get to wash my face clean with nice hot, warm, soapy water. It feels pretty good. Anyway, that's one of the things I do. So yeah. So I have little ways of exploiting them, I guess, you know. But yeah, you do pay a lot for groceries, and this isn't the only place where you pay a lot for groceries. It's right across the country. It's like that. I think it's like that now pretty much worldwide. Most places it's that way. I know in the United States they're paying a lot for groceries too, and I believe in the UK too they're paying a lot for groceries. So it's not just us that are suffering. We're suffering badly because we're a northern climate and we're taxed heavily on everything. Though, and especially with the carbon tax, we have this carbon tax, and it just drives the price of everything up. I mean, even if you don't drive, the carbon tax affects you. If you pay for heat, the carbon tax affects you. And this is a country where you're pretty much running a heater from mid-October right through to about mid-May. So you can imagine, you know, when you're being taxed for your heating. And then, of course, there's the carbon tax also because it applies to gasoline and diesel fuel, and all your delivery trucks run on gasoline and diesel fuel. It drives up the price of everything because the trucking firms that deliver the goods, they have to charge for their fuel they're consuming, you know. They have to charge for the tax. So everything in the grocery store and everything over there at Canadian Tire and everything up there at Walmart and, you know, or wherever, it doesn't matter, anywhere you go, the prices go up because the trucks that deliver the stuff are costing more to operate. So what are you going to do? I mean, it is what it is, I guess. You just have little ways of beating the system. But I've come up with a few small ways of beating the system, and occasionally I win. But all in all, I pay a lot more for everything than I should have to pay, and that's just down to the fact that the economy is purposely being crashed by all our Western governments, and also to the fact that at least here, a part of that is we're going to tax every damn thing to the point where nobody can afford it. you know. We're just going to tax people to death, which is what we do here. And we got 13% sales tax on everything, and then they applied a carbon tax to any fuel on top of that. So you pay for your gas, you pay the carbon tax on top, and in fact, you oftentimes what happens is you get taxed on a tax in this country. Or to get around it, they'll call it an environmental fee or a disposal fee or whatever, but really it's a tax is what it is. I got into an argument one time a bit, and I didn't intend to, but I bought a device because in my house I didn't have cable television, I just had an antenna. And of course we switched now to digital signals. And I had an older television, but at Canadian Tire they advertised a device and it was on sale for like $49. And this device would take your digital signal in from your antenna and convert it back to an analog signal so your old TV would still work. Well, I bought that, and when I got up to the cash, I knew with taxes and everything, it was that $49 was going to be about $59. I knew that. But I got up to the cash and they asked me for $75. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. And they went through it with me, and one of the charges on there was a $20 disposal fee. And I asked about that, and the cashier told me, well, that's to pay for disposing of it when you're finished with it. And I said, oh, okay. So is the government going to send a man around to my house to pick it up when I'm finished with it? Is there a number I can call when I want to dispose of it so the government can send this guy around to pick it up? Well, no, she said. You can't expect the government to do that. Well, I said, they're charging me a disposal fee. So, look, I said, if I'm in business and I charge a customer for a service, I have to provide the service, you know? So I said, how is it then that they can charge a disposal fee, but then they're not providing a disposal service? Well, I could see her nervously looking around because she knows now she was having a conversation, obviously, with a subversive. And if she was seen to be actually having a conversation with a subversive, then maybe she would be punished, you know, there'd be guilt by association or whatever. And she was really scared, I could tell. Anyway, what she said was, what she said to me was that basically, do I want the thing or do I not want it? If I want it, I have to pay all the fees. And I pointed out too, I said, well, they're also charging me a tax on a tax. That's the other thing they're doing. They're charging me, because I said, look, you put the disposal fee on and then the taxes are calculated after that. So I'm paying tax on this $20 disposal fee. And she says, no, so I'm paying tax on a tax. And she said, no, you're not. She said, that's a fee, it's not a tax. And I said, well, they call it a fee, yes, but it's a tax. Oh, no, it's a fee. You're paying tax on a fee. You're not paying tax on a tax. And I could tell she was getting upset. You know, I was really upsetting her. And I was frightening her. She was genuinely scared to be having that conversation. And that's how things are here. It's pathetic. And that was years ago. It's gotten even worse now. The only thing now is people are starting to wake up because we've been beaten down so severely that even the dumbest, most fearful, most ballless, toothless, brainless Luddites in the world are beginning to realize that something ain't right. You know, the message is getting through. Something just ain't right. A lot of them still aren't prepared to commit as far as to say that it's intolerable and it needs to be stopped, because they're afraid if they say that and it's found out, they'll be punished. And there is some reason for that fear, because people are being punished for speaking out. But we need for everybody to speak out, and we need for people to stop cooperating. You know, basically, this is bullshit, and it needs to stop. That's what it boils down to. I burnt $50 worth of gasoline yesterday, going to Ottawa and back. It's 50 miles to Ottawa. 50 miles to Ottawa, 50 miles back. That's 100 miles I drove. That means for fuel alone, I'm paying 50 cents per mile. Again, that's an insane and intolerable and unsustainable thing. You know, and this is because of the carbon tax. Anyway, that's it. I guess we'll see you all later. I'm going to shut this down now. Bye.